What is up, YouTube, and welcome to my first impressions of Marvel Rivals. I have played for a couple days now, and I tell you right now, it was hard for me to put the game down just to make this video, but gotta do what you gotta do, right? So, here's my first impressions of the game. Right now, I am absolutely loving it. The, the whole aspect, very Overwatch, very hero shooter, paladins, everything else. Like, it's pretty cut and dry of this is the game you're getting into, right? There's no question about that. Everyone knew what they were getting into when getting the game, but there's so much more to it. And before I get into some of the differences and everything, I wanted to actually address the last video I made on Marvel Rivals, and that was about them adding some PvE, some like offline content. I've seen a couple of comments you guys left. I know it's a dream. I know they're probably never going to add something like that. So when I got into the game and then I seen that, like, oh, there is still a unique story that they're telling through battle passes, through missions, different cutscenes, the way the maps work, everything else. I'm like, you know what? That's still a good way of doing it. That Fortnite does it, and I enjoy it through them. They're not the best, obviously, but maybe Marvel Rivals can be better at it. Now, with the idea in their story of two Doctor Dooms managed to successfully get their goal and it is now making the whole multiverse collapse on itself is insane. Is like a very cool idea. The fact that we have two main villains instead of just one, even though they're the exact same guy, still just one technically. But I'm not going to get too much into the story because obviously the game only came out like 2 days ago, right? And it's not fleshed out. It's not being told completely yet. We still have like a month of content before we know what the story is. So, moving on from the story, let's get into like some actual gameplay stuff of it because the gameplay feels very smooth. Now, my computer is not the best. I'll say it. I'll be one of the first to say it. I might need to tone some settings, whatever. But other than the lag spikes that I get, the game feels very smooth, right? It's clean, all of the characters, like some of them are a bit more janky than others, obviously, but the characters feel very good. Now, I ended up finding my main in probably one of the more least expected characters, being Penny Parker. So I'm going to talk about the way she goes, the way she plays, because I absolutely love it. I do. She's my main. She's going to be my main forever, basically. I do want to get all the characters' proficiencies maxed out, just because it'll be fun. But I've been going crazy with Penny Parker, and with that, like, she is probably one of them. She's a tank. Let's get that out of the way first. She is a tank, so big health bar, stand there, take lots of damage. And her kit, the way she plays, is not like any tank I've seen before. If I'm going to compare it to like Paladin's gameplay, let's say, she feels more like the way she moves is more like a flank for that game, right? For anyone who doesn't know, flanks are the ones who actually do more damage to tanks, and have unique kits that aren't damage, but still do a lot of damage, right? It's weird. You need to know Paladins to understand it. Moving on, Penny Parker is like a trap-based tank, right? She sets up mines. She sets up a little gadget that goes up and distributes more spider drones, which is insane. She has one of her moves. Either you can put it on the ground to like give yourself extra health, which was something I discovered way later in my playing, so I never took advantage of that for the first how many hours I played. But when I learned about it and I did it, I'm like, wow, this is actually really cool. Not only that, but it also is a way to stun enemies. So that if there's someone very fast coming at you, like a Wolverine or a Black Panther, you just stun them in place, whittle down their freaking health so much to the point that if they want to charge you, they better be able to kill you, because if not, you're killing them very quickly. Or you just lock them in place, and if the whole team is there already shooting at them, they're just dead. Just instantly done. And she is part of one of like the best type of team ups in the game, which team ups is one of the coolest features that Marvel decided to add. I am gushing over it because it is so goddamn cool, very unique, and has like awesome implications of what the heroes can actually do together. But she has one of the cooler ones, in my opinion, where as long as you have a Venom on your team, you get an extra ability. You get an extra move to actually damage enemies with. And that in of itself is amazing, right? Like, not only do you have another tank, which 2 tanks, if you have good healers with 2 tanks, you're just set. You're guaranteed to win almost. But with that, you also have an extra move that does more damage on top of everything else. So if your cooldowns aren't going off very, like they're not, how do I say this? If your cooldowns aren't like going as fast as you want, or you're just getting overrun by so many enemies and you can't like do anything to hit them all, boom, you have a new move that can actually hit them all. So if you decide to play as Penny and you're playing with friends, get someone who's really good with Venom and you're winning the game almost every goddamn time. Get yourself like a really good healer like Jeff or Adam Warlock and you're set. Guaranteed you're winning the game, no questions asked. Now, let's move on from me gushing over the game or talking about how much I absolutely love Penny Parker, because I love her so much I ended up actually purchasing a skin for her. I didn't think I would. I didn't think I would that early, at least, but I did. No regrets made. I absolutely love it. I got the Venom skin for her. It's great. It's amazing. Now, some of the gripes I have, right? It's hard to choose them. It is hard to say there's one thing wrong with the game, because frankly, there almost isn't. Now, I can't say there isn't at all, right? I've had a little bit of trouble with like the Discord code and being able to get yourself an extra 100 of the freaking lattices or whatever. But there's still a lot that like can be improved, right? Obviously, the fact that they have 33 unique heroes is a huge buff, a huge, amazing advantage to them. But this is Marvel, right? This is Marvel Comics. You know for a fact that they're gonna have, like, they have hundreds to choose from. And I'm very, very happy they chose some very unique ones like Luna Snow, Squirrel Girl, Jeff the Shark. But some of the kits for some of the characters, like Storm. Let's go with Storm because I played a bit of Storm. Her kit isn't as good as I like pictured it would have been, right? Storm is one of like the strongest mutants I've ever seen. Absolutely love her. She's one of my favorite characters, yet her kit is just kind of lackluster is the best way I could describe it, right? And then there's her team up. Like, she's a mutant. I did picture more mutants coming out when the game came out because the X-Men are hugely popular. I also pictured some of the Fantastic Four coming out, especially with Doctor Doom being one of the first villains. And like, that's just small gripes of me being like, oh, I want this and want that character, right? I'm not saying the game is bad because they don't have it. I'm just super excited for when they do. But her team up is with Thor and Captain America, right? Thor makes sense. God of Thunder. Storm is the mutant of weather. Makes complete sense. Why Captain America? That is what blows my mind, is why Captain America with that. And I never got to actually experience it, because again, I only played Storm for like a couple of games, and I never got to play with a Thor, because Thor, frankly, no one uses Thor. That's another thing, right? With Thor in the game, why aren't people using him? People are like, the only tanks I see, me as Penny, obviously, Venoms, I see a ton of Venoms, Magneto, and then Groot. I don't see anyone else in the game. I think I've seen like a couple of Hulks, but like, even Hulk's whole like strategy and his kit feels weirdly lackluster. Now, I get it, game balancing things, they need to balance the game so that everything is fair, everything makes sense, but so many of like these heroes, the Incredible Hulk isn't given the title Incredible for no reason. And I've always said it, and I know a couple of people have already said it before, Hulk in the Avengers, in the whole Avengers saga, like film series and everything else, just doesn't feel like the strongest Hulk, right? He doesn't feel as good as he should be. Whereas like the 2008 Incredible Hulk, I loved it. I absolutely love it. It was amazing. But then this Hulk just falls flat for me. And that's another thing, is like that Hulk, Thor, like the God of Thunder. Again, I haven't played the characters, so I can't say much, but I have done some practice with them, and I have seen them in play. And while there was like one really good Thor player, that was like the only time I've ever seen Thor. And same with Hulk. I see a couple people play as Hulk, but every time a Hulk shows up, I half the time don't even look at them to actually target them, because they're just gone so fast. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's the games I had. But like, the characters that I see really stand out are like Venom. I see a lot of Spider-Mans, but even at that, once Spider-Man is on field, I don't see them anymore. Iron Mans are crazy. I had a couple of crazy interactions with some Captain Americas. They destroyed me. And then it's been like a lot of Black Widows, a lot of Hawkeyes, a couple of Iron Fists, and then mostly just like a lot of Jeff the Shark, for obvious reasons. Jeff is adorable. We love him. But a lot of Jeff, a surprising amount of Luna Snow, and a lot of Lokis. But like, I don't see very many Winter Soldiers. I see almost zero Rocket Raccoons. It's like people have already found the meta, and so many characters get ignored. And I don't know whether that's like the actual meta, or people are just playing their favorite characters right now, because frankly, Venom, especially with the newest trilogy, by far is one of the coolest characters. No doubt about it. And like, Iron Man has that special skin with the code, so like, it's really easy to just jump on him, have a cool skin, play the game. But there's so many other characters that I'm like, they aren't shown the light of day like they should be. Anyway, that's enough of me, right? The only complaint I have is some of the characters feel weaker than they should. Realistically, that's a very small complaint in the grand scheme of how big the game already is and how amazing it actually is. So, do enjoy playing the game. Don't take my word of like, oh, whatever, what have you. Have fun playing the game. I will be. Play whoever you want. Don't say like, oh, there's not enough Rocket Raccoons, I'll jump on Rocket Raccoon. Don't do that. Don't force yourself to play a character you don't want. If you like them, by all means play them. But that's really it. I just wanted to get my thoughts, just spew word vomit, because I love the game and I want to get back to it really, really quickly. And I hope to see some of you guys in the game, as well as watching some of my videos. I don't know how much Marvel Rivals content I will actually make, as playing the game alone doesn't result in very many clips, sadly. But I hope you do stick around with the channel, subscribe to see what else I do. I have the Dragon Ball Z Abridged reactions coming up. I'm thinking of doing some challenge runs. Maybe I'll do a challenge run in Marvel Rivals. Just be like, I don't know, play one of those characters I mentioned that I don't really like. Or the minute a new character comes out, be like, I am focusing on this character or whatever else. But we'll see what else I make. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in another video. Peace out.